Check out my rapid reading on Twin Cities Live.
Welcome back into Twin Cities Live. When Jodi Livon joins us in studio for a rapid reading, we know we're in for a treat.
It's always so interesting. So she shares her insights and she kind of shares what she sees for the other person. It's a short conversation, but it's always very revealing. So today, she's going to read Twin Cities Live and Minnesota Live senior producer, Cece Rody, full name Caroline. Welcome, okay?
Thank
Cece,
you.
you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, align your solar plexus, my friends.
yeah.
I know the drill, okay? All right.
Say your full name, or first and last name.
Caroline Cole Rody.
Okay, very excited for this reading. You like to be enlightened about yourself, and you like to reach for different things that are really odd. Odd you love. There are things that you miss that are very obvious. And then later when you catch them, you're like, I can't believe I missed that. I can't believe I missed that. In your personal life, sometimes maybe at work, but in your personal life, things because you're always going. You're like a road runner, you're always going, and your mind is always going, and you're definitely on a career path. Very much on a career path. The thing I would say is, you have refined this, you're getting better and better at this thing about details. Details, and about people. Knowing how to relate to people that maybe don't move at your pace. Does that make sense? And don't get things in the way that you do, and finding a way to kind of zoom in, excuse me, and say, okay, I think I know how to communicate with this person. I think I know how to do that. And then not taking things personally, which I can relate to 100%.
Caroline, she's in your brain.
Yeah.
Cece.
That's so true. That, especially that last part of like taking things personally. I think a lot of people can relate to that. Of like, what I said is me. I wouldn't do it.
Exactly, and then you have to realize that you're interpreting it, you're telling your own story about what it means, where somebody else could be in a completely different way. The hard part is with your job, you have to be in their head too, because you want them to do what you need them to do and what they want to do without offending them. And that can be hard when you just want to get it done. Do you understand this? You have a very big heart. You love your family. You consider people here your family. And when people can tick you off, piss you off, you don't know what to do. Like, isn't this relatable?
Yeah.
Like you're on a roll and you get along great with people, and then something happens and you don't know what to do about it. Because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and you want to be honest, and you're really growing in that area. You really are growing in that area. Very creative, and you're an interesting kind of creative. Like it's just there's a uniqueness to the way you see things for TV. Like there'll be a time where you're gonna go, let's try this really odd little direction, and it'll really work. Of course, everybody's gonna be behind it, and you'll see that. You're a big feeler, you're a big thinker, and you're very perceptive. And I know this because I know you a little bit, and you're very perceptive, and you're learning how to understand what it all means. Tell the audience the story.
Okay, so this morning I put on this jacket and I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring a ponytail holder in case I need to just get my hair out of the way. And then I was like, well, I won't use bobby pins, but I might need them. So I just grabbed them. And then somebody came upstairs and was like, does anybody have any bobby pins?
No way.
Because
Really?
Jodi needed them.
I had a curl that was right skinny
my
right here. I
gosh.
went and tried to look at your stuff. I didn't see a bobby pin.
I actually have a stash right there if you ever need one, by the way. There's a bunch of them back there. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So that it's interesting how your personal life and your work life, how there's this overlap, and then how you take things when people talk to you personally is one way, and then of course it's just different at work. And you're learning to find this blend because you really care about the people you work with. They matter to you, and you don't always know how to show it, and I think we can all relate to that. Like, how do you show this? How do you show this? But you're really getting good at it. You should congratulate yourself that you're willing to keep growing, because that's how you're going to achieve even more success than you've achieved.
Cece, this is all good stuff.
I know this is good. Does this
is
validate for you, like things that you already knew?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I have this dream of one day starting a TV show that would be about like children's education and science and like animals, and it's something that's like off in the far distance, but it's like something that's always been like.
Well, you just put it out in the universe now.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Okay, so Jodi, if you see these things and you're sort of getting these clues about somebody, then how do you communicate, she's on the right track, or maybe what's the next step in growing in some of these different areas?
I think one thing in particular, and this is not an easy thing, and I'm sure the audience understands this, is the taking things personally.
Yeah.
It is so hard, but once you get, and you're doing a really good job with it, so congratulate yourself, you've done really good work. But once you keep going with that, it's like a whole different chapter opens up for you. Because it's like that, it's okay if somebody has this response, here's how I meant it, here's what I'm saying, that's gonna be huge for you. And the other thing is odd is good. Odd is good.
I am kind of quirky.
Yes, and it's good. It's good. It's a really, really good thing. You're really working hard, and you're doing you're doing a really nice job. And you should just tell yourself that, because you're really hard on yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Cece, let me ask you, when she says you look for some things that are odd, you know, you are, like, your job is to be creative and, like, maybe look for things that maybe other people don't see. Do you ever find yourself, like she was saying, maybe sometimes looking over the obvious and saying, like, oh, that was there, not physically something, but maybe, like, there was an idea or something that, oh, it was right in front of my face the whole time. I was maybe looking too abstract.
Yeah, I can't think of a specific moment when I've looked over like the obvious, but I do like odd things. I have a giant collection of giraffes, you know, and I have like, I think I pick up on like the little details about people in terms of like, oh, they said this word in that certain way. Like, did you hear? Oh, you didn't hear that? And it's like,
Yeah.
no, did you hear? You know,
I thought the details thing was really interesting because Cece's she was hard on herself and she missed details, and then she's actively working on processes so that she isn't missing details. You were right on, Cece. I mean, I was listening. I was like, this is her. This is her. This is totally her. Really good. That was very fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much.